The Disney's arc in China really explains so much about the development of China's overall economy and its attitude toward American soft power. Because back in the 90s, in the early 90s, Disney executives were already scouting land for a theme park. They were already engaging in conversations to try and get the Disney Channel onto Chinese airwaves because they had two objectives. One was they wanted to diversify beyond the U.S. They still were a pretty domestically heavy business at that time. They wanted to have more international business, and they also knew, as most people did, that China eventually was going to come online and be a significant market and a place that they really needed to position themselves for growth. So in the early 90s, they start scouting things. In 1997, they have this more than a hiccup. They have this complete interference in their plans with the release of a Dalai Lama film called Kundun that Martin Scorsese had directed and Disney had released. The release of that film, that valorization of the Dalai Lama, gets Disney temporarily banned. The CEO at the time, Michael Eisner, has to go over and apologize to Chinese officials for making the film. If this feels like deja vu because of what would happen in the 20 years since, it's because this was essentially the first example we have of a Western company facing economic repercussions and then having to apologize to see those repercussions go away. And then as China's box office starts to grow, Disney starts to do phenomenally well because what do they make? They make family friendly entertainment that the Chinese censors, by and large, are not going to take issue with. One interesting thing to your point, though, about the influence of young minds, though, is I think the Disney executives knew that they had a problem, which was that they were dealing with a country that had not spent the 20th century getting to know Disney characters. And they knew that their playbook relied on children growing attached to Disney characters. No child is going to beg his or her parents to take them to a Disney theme park if they don't know Pluto and Mickey and Snow White. So that was one reason why they were so keen to get the Disney Channel onto Chinese airwaves. Communist regimes tend to be rather prickly about what goes onto their airwaves, and they said, no way. So they actually came up with a different strategy, which was a string of English language schools called Disney English, which would teach English language to young Chinese children using Mickey Mouse and Pluto and Elsa and Nemo. And it served two purposes. It was a good business because a lot of Chinese parents wanted their children to learn English, and it also introduced these characters using the lesson plans.